the, the advantage of a 2-0 on their side. As long as MaxPax doesn't get 2-0, I think this series is looking very good for Liquid. It's actually a lot of pressure on MaxPax, so I actually do think this falls apart a little bit if MaxPax only gets, loses a map basically, which is obviously a rough request against someone like Clem, especially when you're going to have opponent's map pick if you win, even if you win the first game. And it's Crimson Core, not a bad Terra map to start with either. Ooh, this could be a wild one. Very exciting. Well, we get set up. Probe coming across the map. Of course, MaxPax, such a tricksy player as well, could absolutely throw so many different things at you, and that's one of the challenges playing against him, especially when you gotta try and make sure you don't drop a map along the way. Pro nibbling SCV, taking some damage. Start point of this not going to be super crazy, as scouts will just confirm the norm. And it is double gas from Clem, so a little bit more pressure based, but still expecting him to drop an expansion sometime soon here. That should not come too much of a surprise. Next is building. That's set up and underway. And just waiting for Clem to kind of get the factory up initially, and then he's going to be kind of taking his own expansion just a little bit further down the line than what MaxPax is doing. Still up right there, so yeah, just a little difference. The way his build works out just means that he will be later to that. That's not a surprise to us based on what we've seen already. Just going to try and come around that right hand side. Just going to come shading about a little, see what's going on, if possible. Pick up a little bit of that information. As see the Reapers continue to fight. 3 probes going down. Again, Stargate is on the way up. A couple more probes in the Warp Gate coming through. Cyclone finding a few more shots off as well. And those Reapers are going huge, man. This is big damage for the Reapers early. 4 probes killed, and that is going to be Clem happy with the first round of damage dealt between these two in this match. That definitely favors Clem a little bit. Well, Clem on the way to the Cloak Banshee is going to keep the aggression up now. Phoenix on the way from MaxPax, but it's still very dependent on him having detection to be able to be in an okay spot based on what we're seeing here. So that'll be a point of interest, I'm sure. And the Phoenix producing through Robo Facility will be the section then. It will provide you the observer that you're looking for, so big step in the right direction so far. Phoenix coming up to the top right side. Marines in the Cyclone going to be there with the Siege Tank nearby as well. Again, Banshee Tank, couple of Marines all continuing up for the moment, so bringing all of that through for now. Getting that set up rolling here. And here's the Banshee, so the question will be, can it get enough damage done to justify the investment? So far looking pretty decent. 6 kills. There's the detection showing up, and finally we get the cleanup. But 6 kills is not bad. Clem is now pushing with Marine Tank Banshee, and that's just a lot of high damage output units. He's going to show up on the other side, so they're going to counterattack. Clem actually did turn around with his main force, so does not continue to come forward there. Thought he might send it a little further, but apparently not the case. He's not going to go for that as these Phoenix go after a bunch of SCVs. Couple missile turrets coming about. Again, the stim, Marauders, Marines all on the way through. Clem losing 7 SCVs in the end, so that was good counter harass from MaxPax. Needed something because it was already looking pretty Clem favored for the early stages. The damage was all coming in from his favor. Now we turn that around a little bit. And Cyclone the Marines, the Viking 2 just gonna come about. We're seeing a couple more shots still coming through that. I'm just gonna be seeing the Bioforce moving back around as well. I was setting up Clem in the middle of the map here. Obviously, got to be careful because these tanks are the kind of answer to the Colossus currently. But unsiege one, press further forwards. He's got to be careful because the Phoenix obviously can pick off reinforcements. So he's not reinforcing this, but the longer he sits here for, the worse it becomes. Oh, a couple Widow Mines there actually do connect, and the Phoenix can get softened up, but not enough Marines to really capitalize on that and to do much else. So we can't really do much more from there. Phoenix still moving about, the Bioforce moving about as well. This is going to lift up, Widow Mine going to get picked off also. This Colossus just sitting in the front. There's going to be seeing a few SCVs going down. There's obviously going to be Clem has been looking for a fight, but he's not being able to really find it. Jinx firing, a few Marines coming about, Marauders as well. What am I going to get shot? The Viking's going to get jumped on. Charge coming up, +1 attack coming through. Why is MaxPax allowed to be the secretive man? Maybe because he has a good reason that doesn't need to be shared publicly? Why are you allowed to be an anonymous Twitch user? It's just how the world is. He's Elon Musk, can you imagine? Crazy. Just Elon Musk to play Protoss. Ay. Prism up the left-hand side. As MaxPax has deflected all the attempts of Clem to get into position. Bio just going to press forward. Nexus in the front, setting up. Going to be seeing a couple of gates and so on getting cancelled here. So the forward position not allowed to happen. Clem definitely controlling the map pretty well. I think his map control is definitely one thing to shout about so far for him in this game. Plus, as Phoenix, the Archons will continue to come back around. We're just going to be seeing the Prism coming back up towards the top. Just going to see that Prism getting shot by the Vikings. So we'll get pushed back, but obviously Clem starts to come back and deal with these Zealots and shut those down before too much further development goes on. So yeah, he will go and deal with that. Gives MaxPax some breathing room, and now his fourth base in that forward location looks as though it will be coming online. So Clem is going to be unable to keep on denying the fourth, which he did a great job of so far, but he's also going to take this as a chance to get his own fourth base set up. Not bad to essentially equalize the timing of the fourth bases here. It's definitely Clem favored as he hits some good free shots there, and that will help him quite a bit also. Disruptor's going to be scary as well, but Clem is going to get far enough forwards, and that base has to be cancelled again. So MaxPax unable to keep this base alive. Another Prism back in the main base. The Vikings are going to be there. 3 Vikings actually are going to shut this down before the warping. Well, okay, 1 Zealot got warped in, but the majority of the warping is denied. What a huge deal that is, as Clem's still just got to be careful of these Disruptors. That's the one thing he's got to be careful of. Pulls that hurt tank back. The Cyclone, oh my god, Clem is just playing at an insane level. Picking up a bunch of units to avoid shots. He does finally have a Disruptor connect on a Ghost and a couple of other things. What's going to be there? The Siege Tanks have some work to do here, of course. This is where we figure out how much they can do. The Disruptors end up flanking. Now, Clem will just stim up the left-hand side because it means he can move away from the Disruptors initially. MaxPax coming back in with the Disruptors, and Clem actually turned back onto them. In the end, Clem could not get rid of the Colossus during all this. He does have a lot of Vikings left at the end, but there's also going to be anti-air stalkers from MaxPax. That was a weird fight. That was a lot going on there, so interesting little bit. Man, that was actually really interesting. What a wild little set of circumstances to take us through that engagement. Like, the Disruptors flanking was obviously very intriguing. There was just so much going on. Alright. Get over that for a second. And it's just going to be seeing that Bio Army is still here, and we are potentially on the verge of another fight, but supplies are way better for MaxPax than they were previously, so MaxPax able to recover a little from this so far. We're going to take another fight here. The Vikings do get rid of 1 Colossus very quickly. Nice to see that going down so fast from Clem's point of view. As we are going to continue to dive in. These Colossus not really holding their own. Disruptor's not there to zone this Bio Army back, so it's just standing deal of damage. Even the Super Battery, not enough right there to really help the way you wanted it to. So unfortunately that does not go well for MaxPax. And he loses a lot. Clem retakes the significant supply lead that he had previously. Gets that back in his favor. Well, Bio setting up into the center. We have another Nexus going to go down. Bio just jumps through. Nexus gets killed. Army's still gathering up. On the Morphin, the Disruptors all gathering together as well. Army's still moving through. 187, 162 supply here. We are 50 minutes in on Crimson Court. Clem is definitely still, in my eyes, taking a bit of the momentum. He's setting himself up to be on 5 bases now, while his opponent is still setting up on the 4. That's a big deal, right? Having that base lead and having that base lead comfortably for so long in the game. Definitely says a lot. Nexus will go down in the front. It's going to have everything else continuing through. Clem is still active. Back to the middle of the map here once again, looking for another push forward. So many of these pushes have been successful because of the map. If Clem wins this, it'll be interesting to see how he fares on a MaxPax map pick, because I feel like a lot of what we've seen here has come down just because, again, this map has allowed Clem to push forward fairly easily. Not a lot of flanking potential either. Results will start to go down, so some damage being dealt. Disruptor fires, Bio gonna split apart, a Marine gets a big hit right there. Diving through again, Disruptor shot will just land, one Marine taking a bunch of shots off of it. However, generally the Disruptors, yes, they're pushing Clem back, but he's not eating any big Disruptor shots, so doing a great job on that. Disruptors definitely traveling around as a clump. They've been in interesting positions a couple of times where I thought they might get punished a little bit for where they've been. Scan comes in. Medevacs is going to go moving around again. Away they go. Fire Force firing it up. A lot of shots coming by there, and again, Clem just spreading himself out in a couple different positions around the map, looking to come in from a few different angles at any point, and is just keeping MaxPax moving around defensively. Clem behind this, again, adding on Ghosts and just continuing to, in my eyes, do the right thing in terms of setting up. He's building up into more effective ways of playing and more tech units. Still splitting pretty nicely against those Disruptors. Finally, Disruptor catches a couple Ghosts, though, and this time MaxPax getting some SCVs on the other side as well. That's where things may turn around here slightly, so things start to go a little differently. Bio gonna fight. Disruptor still going down. There's a lot of Disruptors dying here. Those Liberators putting some serious work, and we didn't actually deny the Liberators at all there. They were just allowed to kind of stand and fight. Bio still left over, chasing Disruptors down. MaxPax's army has just been melted, and looks as though Clem is going to find a game number one. So Clem gets the first game on Crimson Court. Massive start for Liquid then, because Clem... Top left-hand side, our blue Terran from Team Liquid is Clem. Taking on MaxPax from PSISTORM-NAVI in the bottom right-hand side. Alright, well, no proxy to start us off with. MaxPax will be sending the scout onto the map, try and see a little bit of what's going on. Let's see if he comes back over. Just going to go have a little bit of a peek around, see if anything exciting is going on. So we are going to Engineering Bay block, so Engineering Bay block will slow down the initial MaxPax expansion, and that will be Clem just taking a little bit of control in this game, nice and quickly. Cool to see. Continues up to the high ground, just going to be moving towards that side. You're going to be seeing the SCV going to get a nibble off. Marine going to be there as well. And the gateway just chrono boosting out and adept. The warp gate going to cancel, so you have the gas to build the Stargate just slightly sooner. Pretty typical play. If you're going to open Stargate, you're not rushing the warp gate. You don't really need it, so you can cancel it, get that Stargate down slightly faster here, then benefit from that. Hellions deflecting an adept and not too much else going on super quickly here. Factory going to move over to the tech lab. Barracks can make its way to the reactor, get some more Marines on the go. The starport up soon is Phoenix production. These Hellions would love to find some damage, but let's see if they can. There's a Phoenix to lift one of them up as well, so that's already a big start. 3 Hellions will get into the main base, and they are damaged but not completely hurting, so okay, we're going to start getting some probes here, guaranteed. The Adepts will shade forwards, but that's 5 workers. Clem already opening strong. Great Star gets in, 5 workers go down. And Clem already taking advantage of his opponent just being a little out of position with the base out the front. And Clem is still good with that Hellion movement. He is almost always going to punish you for kind of taking that base out of position. That's why it's so good for Clem to engineer and bay block you, because he's so good at taking advantage of it. Good, Devs are going to try and make their way forward, and they may not have the best kind of defense around. I can actually shade on top of the tank to minimize tank shots, but then some Marines show up. You're going to see the Phoenix show up to try and fight against the Marines, and I guess there will not be enough really going on. As our Phoenix will go after the Viking. Again, a couple of Vikings and the siege tank still building up here, so we get all of that on the go and get settled in. And just having the Phoenix and they come back over, gonna go after some SCVs, so a couple of SCVs start to go down. Phoenix gonna lift up, a few SCVs will begin to drop. Again, the Marines coming over, tanks ready to settle as well. Phoenix would love to maybe move forward there. A couple of Vikings will be able to fire back. Shots going out. Phoenix got chased away. And Clem just builds up more and more Vikings. He's just basically saying, like, hey, look, you're building all these Phoenix, but I'm going to have an answer to them. I'm not going to let them bully me. I'm not going to let you take control of this game in the skies. Clem is really looking to have a very strong response to the fact that MaxPax wants to play this air control setup initially and just really stop that from developing into anything ASAP. He does not want this to be anything to do with his opponent in the skies. So, yeah, plenty of Vikings. Controlling that. It's actually become one of the ways to start dealing with this sort of style of play. And it's definitely not uncommon to see a lot of Vikings before medevacs and so on, so yeah, it's becoming more of a response. Phoenix is still chilling that. Again, +1 in charge will come through. So we get that +1 charge on the way up. Again, the prism coming about as well. Couple more sentries just warping in. High Templar, sorry, warping in, and they're going to be providing obviously some extra splash in the form of the Archon. So more total kind of Archon charge at the moment. Phoenix getting zoned out again, really not going to be allowed to do much. Be interesting to see what the army of Clem looks like when it moves across the map. See if it really has got the power just to kind of send this, considering he's been putting a lot of investment into stopping the Phoenix doing much, and I think he's going to have a fairly scary army. I guess my question is also going to be, are the Vikings going to have much of a role to play in that army supply, or are they going to be somewhat dead weight here? Kind of see that going any which way, actually, still. That one remains out in the open to be guessed at a little bit. Seeing the units gathering up on this ramp on that right-hand side, setting up to see what it is they can maybe do. Vikings, tanks, Marines gathering together. As I'm just continuing about, continue to move through here. Getting settled. As we do have the prison, going to try and cause chaos. And here's the main army of MaxPax as well at the front. So he's going to run to the third, lifting up a bunch of the tanks with the Phoenix. It allows him to get close. Obviously, he doesn't necessarily need to kind of keep them up in the skies forever. Seems reasonable as the Zealots in the main base still going. Only 5 SCVs lost from Clem so far. If this was the entire attack of MaxPax kind of planned out, then I don't think this was necessarily enough. I don't think he's like... He's not out of the game because he attacked like this and it didn't work, but yeah, he needs to have something more kind of going on because that alone is not going to get the job done here. Clem up about 20 supply with that defense, and we'll be moving forwards comfortably for now, but long way to go still. A lot still to be said about this. MaxPax is going to get a RoboBay online, starting to actually look towards some more consistent splash damage options here. Is not a terrible part of the plan, right? Just make sure you've got something for the later game. I mean, we're heading there. There's pretty much no doubt about it. You're not going to stop it from getting there at this point if Clem wants to go there, so... Zealots is going to get whooped in. Gonna start charging forward. Zealot and Archon coming through already. Fire going to come across, and actually the Zealots and the Archon's going to get turned around a little bit as well. Museum Clem is out here trying to greet this army a little bit, actually. But Clem trying to come through and, like I say, get ahead of this and make something happen of it. And we do see some forces coming down to keep that Terran army at bay, so MaxPax does not really want to let Clem come and play catch-up with him. Stalkers blink around, just going to be seeing the rocks going to get cleaned up, so we open up this space. The maxed out Clem. A bit of a different situation, because this game MaxPax does have 5 bases. Last time it was Clem that was going to 5, while MaxPax was kept back on 4, so there's definitely a little bit of an interesting scenario there that's kind of broken out. Vikings will shoot down that prism. It will fall. Some ghost getting position, shots coming about. Damage coming out in that direction. Again, just little groups of units, and Clem is skirmishing with them. Looks as though that one should kind of end well for MaxPax, getting a decent storm off as well to try and keep things at bay. Still have that +3 attack coming through from Clem as well, so upgrades are continuing to kind of, move on through here. Is going to grab a mine. Bio's still moving about. The ghost as well. What am I going to fire up? And a stalker already getting shot away at there, so that's going to be a bit of a cleanup. As our Bio's going to stem. Zealots and Archons getting picked away at. We have our Vikings going to come through. Colossus going down. Mines all over the place. Just going to go off on those two Zealots as well, and that's going to be a decent part of the defense. MaxPax's supply is constantly struggling. Clem has money in the bank as well. Doesn't quite have units right now to deal with this, but he is going to have a few reinforcements, and they might just be enough to get the job done. And Clem is still pressing forward with that main army. MaxPax will try and take a trade or two with just a couple of the initial units, see if he can find something from there initially, but can't say it's looking super hopeful for him. This does really feel as though Clem is maybe on the way to 2-0. I mean, that is horrendous for PSISTORM-NAVI. If Clem is still alive after you've sent out Spirit and MaxPax, this series is going to be falling away from you faster than you can really think about it. I mean, you're going to be relying on miracles basically to come back at that point, so things are perhaps not looking super pretty here for our, in my eyes, the underdog team. I bet against them. To be fair, I said it was going to be Liquid winning this one, and this is kind of why. If Clem shows up, you kind of need like a MaxPax to get rid of a Clem, and if that doesn't happen, which is not a guarantee, the rest of this match is going to be pretty darn dominated by the French world champion. Scanning in towards this army, good EMP hits the Colossus, and a lot of the units will start to work through the stack defense. Super Battery goes down almost immediately, so that's actually a big win. Getting rid of the Super Battery so soon there is a massive W for Clem, because that's basically just a waste. Now it's on cooldown. That will open positions elsewhere for you to try and take advantage of. It's going to be seen as Zealots coming about, Stalkers and the Colossus coming through, Command Center going to go down as well, so that is going to be another kill right there. So that's actually nice, denying a base of Clem. And as Clem moves down to try and defend this, he actually immediately jumps on those units on the right side. Those Colossus melted, holy goodness. They did not last very long at all. So those got taken down pretty much immediately. +3 armor still coming up. Bio going to turn around. Zealot's going to take some damage there. Another shot coming through. Just going to be having that scan at +3/+3 all on the way up. Zealot's going to split across over toward that left-hand side. More army in the center. DTs around the right coming about as well. Got one disruptor, next couple of disruptors coming through. Disruptor runs up that ramp, 9 probes went down. DTs are going to be moving around from MaxPax as well, looking to try and make some plays. It's going to be seeing this Disruptor goes down pretty much immediately there, so that's going to be a grab. And some Disruptors able to return fire, however, so not super easily handled. Big fight here with the Liberator sieging. Clem will start to zone out this area, but that zone out doesn't happen immediately, so again, seems fine for the moment. He has been losing a base here and there, and MaxPax definitely doing a good job of taking some of these fights and allowing for this to really get into this very tense scenario. I mean, Clem still has a ton of money, by the way, and my issue for MaxPax might just be that eventually, I don't know if he can really take a fight well enough against the, you know, all these Liberators and so on, and right now going to lose production and so on, so Clem's actually in a great spot to really deny his opponent's setup. So that's going to be a big deal as well, as obviously we are seeing right now, essentially. DT is still trying to blink around, but the defense is okay. Tank, Liberator, Scan is there immediately, and that is going to be a pushback too, so defense being made. Both players maxed out still. It's just that money that Clem has available that worries me for MaxPax, and MaxPax again starting to lose some of that setup. Some of those bases here and there as well. Starting to get maybe a little better for Clem too. Liberator sieging up. We are going to see Disruptors chased away. Another Disruptor gets jumped on there immediately. Stalkers, Zealots, Disruptors all gathering together. Another scan coming about. It's a massive fight, especially as the Liberator siege. These Libs are just going to be the issue. There is no good answer to the Liberators right now. Stalkers cannot deal with this number of Liberators is the problem. And if you can't deal with that number of Liberators, then, again, eventually, I just don't see you winning. You can run around Clem for a while, but eventually, Clem will stop you from just running around him in circles. Like, Clem's not just going to let you do that forever, right? And Clem will eventually just slow push his way into position with these Libs. And again, you can maybe run around, but I think Clem's going to start dealing significant damage before you close the game out with that sort of a style. That's a blink forwards, and that's risky because these Libs are just going to siege up, and then you've got to run back. EMPs are already down, so the Stalker's going to be eating a bunch of one-shots there. Disruptor denied. When you come up, it's going to be, again, Libs just basically hunting this army. The Stalkers will turn for some of the Libs, and they might get close to getting a couple of them, but I think the long and short of it is, it's that it's just not good enough. This army composition of MaxPax is struggling currently. And we are going to need some serious work to start fixing it. The Stalkers just keep going down. MaxPax is out of gas that is banked up for himself here as well, so missing gas is never going to be fun. It means that the rebuild is pretty much non-existent for him currently as well. Everything he wants to rebuild as well. He's not really playing Zealots, so yeah, they don't really have a role in this army. When the issue is the Liberators, the last thing you want to be doing is to try and build Zealots, right? Zealots just aren't going to be an answer at all, so yeah, the minerals don't matter. It's the gas that he needs, and it's the gas that he doesn't have currently. Because I'm in the main base, still in the DT, and again, this is the right sort of idea for MaxPax to work around Clem. He's not playing it in a bad way, given the situation. It's the fact that he's in this situation that's the problem. The situation is going to be the death of him, not the way he's playing the scenario. I mean, because I just don't think if Clem doesn't make mistakes, I don't think MaxPax can do anything about this entire scenario. So I think it's just going to come down to a little bit of a brutal finish here. Two Stalkers going after that command center. It will be pushed away. Clem still looking cozy. I mean, maybe with some good disruptor shots, game can turn around, but I do think that is still more on Clem making a mistake than MaxPax making an amazing play, right? And that's the issue. If you're relying on that, Clem at the moment does not seem to be at the level of making mistakes. More disruptors going down. Now he's got an army on the right side. That fairly fresh base is actually going to be shot away at there, and that's going to go down as well. That will be denied. Solid Stalker trying to move forward. That's going to get denied as well. We are going to see the Libs re-sieging. Trying to move forward too. And a couple cannons going to get jumped on. Zealots will go down here. I'll really continue to get on top of that Nexus, getting some more damage dealt. Another disruptor shot. Bio goes, getting chased away. Our Liberators gonna come down as well. Cannon, the batteries, Zealot Stalker, all gonna get pushed back. And Warping gets denied too. MaxPax's supply really is now just falling apart. Credit to him. He held up a long time, and he did, I think, a lot of things right given the place he was in, but Clem's transitions were on point. Clem's army movement was also very good in this game. Really made it very difficult for MaxPax to take advantage of things. So the Stalker's still trying to move around here. I'm going to try and run in and actually gets an orbital. I mean, MaxPax is going to fight until the bitter end. Again, he might be running out of money. He might not be able to rebuild very easily. But he is not going to be a quitter anytime soon. He is going to stay in this as long as he can. And we're going to be seeing a few more units running about here, there, and everywhere. More shots coming in. And Clem looking with the concave to maybe put a close to this. And there it is. The close comes in, and Clem is going to get the win. I had to go get something sorted out, and then I was on my way back to my PC, and there was a minor disaster. But we're back on track now. Couple of Marines are going to be hitting away at the Zealot. Let's see, hit some shots. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. So, game number 3 between Clem and MaxPax. Obviously, this is just a must-win 2-0 for MaxPax. He must win 2-0. If he doesn't win 2-0, this series is done. Liquid move through to tomorrow's games. So MaxPax must win 2-0 because they're on their last life. And so even a 1-1's not good enough, because then MaxPax would lose his last life, and there's no other players to play, even though they would knock down Clem. Couple of devs moving over. So we got ourselves set up. So I didn't miss too much super early on. Again, apologies, guys, for talking a little bit late. Hopefully you guys didn't miss me too much. I don't think we missed anything too badly. And do you have a couple of adepts going to come moving over as well? Thing coming up, Robo Facility, Nexus, all building. The couple of adepts continue to come through. Next is coming up as MaxPax is on Golden Aura, so nice large map for these two to play on. We obviously had a long game on Ocean Board between these two as well. Definitely both capable of going to the later stages. MaxPax just needs to get there without being as limited in his tech. That was his issue against those Liberators. He just didn't have a good way to really do anything about it, right? So things were a little tough as the medevac comes boosting forwards here. A couple of Widow Mines looking to drop in. Kaboom. And the burrow, so we will not quite see a Kaboom just yet, but we actually get a Stalker, which is really nice. Once the Stalkers blink in, obviously that's a guaranteed kill pretty much. As I was a fat kid, thank you so much for the 41-month resub. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for supporting the channel and the WardiTV events that we're running here, and just everything that we do. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Stalkers On the way around, Stimpack and +1 coming up as well. Marauder and a few more Marines also coming about. Stalker's just going to jump onto the medevac. Again, probe, chrono boosting along as well. I'm just going to continue that out and about, so we keep on going with all of this as we do have our upgrades continuing forwards. The Marines, the tanks, Cyclone coming in at the moment as well. Just going to be seen as Observer going to get caught. A couple of Marines are going to get there, be able to take that down. That is a massive catch. 3 probes will go down then, so Clem, a little bit of damage already. These Stalkers not having a good time, have to blink away there. That would have been a disaster if they'd stuck around for another set of tank volleys. That would have been really, really bad. Auto turret goes down. Couple of probes going to get grabbed as well. Let's just see. Overall Prism on the way up. I'm just going to be seeing the charge and the +1 all continuing through. Another couple of tank shots and the damage continues to stack up there. Well, Stalker's got to be careful, man. I know they're just regenerating shields and it's the shields that are being given up at the moment, but I don't want to lose too much HP on them all, right? I mean, that could be kind of rough for you if you have Stalkers too low to really participate in the future. It's not something you'd love to see. As the wall gates continue abound, again, couple pylons, +1 attack, all of that still coming through. Bio gets there, is going to get picked away at as well. Two medevacs around the top. Might be seen by that building pylon, not 100% sure, depends on the path. Actually, just going to drop and kill the building pylons, they will definitely be seen. That works in terms of confirmation for us as to what's being seen and what isn't. Good enough. A few Stalkers still trying to find a way in. The Terran army actually turns back and will actually grab 1, 2 Stalkers. Blink on cooldown, of course, so a little bit of damage there that just adds up onto them. A third Stalker. Already feels as though Clem is pushing around. And just, again, the little pickoffs are definitely going Clem's way. Just making some good little moves and just finding little advantages that are going in his favor at the moment. Stalker's going to have to blink back a little bit there as well as we continue to move around. Just going to see another Stalker going down. The move about continues. Bio on the way about. Prism going to unload. Those medevac's finally in actually just a little bit of trouble, but he's got auto turrets that are going to come down here, try and target down the battery to make this a more susceptible position. Stalker's Zealot's Immortal going back up to the top side, just going to reposition a little bit there for the moment. We do have ourselves the couple of ghosts and the +1 armor continue to come through too. And still just bringing a lot of this into play as a few Zealots are going to slip by into that mineral line. Bio will fight, just going to see a few shots coming about, continue to push on forward for the moment. I mean, this is actually looking great for Clem, who's going to turn around onto this Nexus. Nexus will go down, just going to be seeing the pullback. I mean, killing a base is huge. Widow Mine's going to help against these Zealots. The tank will go down, yes. The Widow Mine's all on cooldown, but all the Zealots gone. Clem feeling though he can keep pushing forward. Is that a mistake? No. The Colossus not really getting a join in the fight. Now a Colossus goes down. It's going to have to turn the other one and fight. It's only really Stalkers left here. We will clean up the mines. At least there is a victory in there for MaxPax perhaps in cleaning up the mines, but Clem is just looking like he might be a little bit too good. A little bit too good. It's crazy good, man. And he is absolutely not afraid to show it in these games, that is for certain. Clem is playing amazingly, and it gets me excited for tomorrow's games and from there on forwards as well, because it feels as though we are going to be witnessing perhaps the Clem show once again, and that is extremely exciting. Mule dropping down. Let's just have our Stalkers continuing across. Raven will just come over. And the rest of these Stalkers coming through, we don't mind. It's going to fire one Stalker blinking back. Prism coming about. It's going to be seeing the few Stalkers going to ping away on the bio. Are going to fight? Just going to be seeing the Stalkers pushed around. Just going to be having ourselves the rest of the bio coming back about as well for the moment. I'm coming back up, maxed out against 150 supply. Does not feel like MaxPax has too much life in him here. As Clem comes forwards, the Zealots are already going to start melting away. The Colossus are in trouble. Yep, Colossus going down. MaxPax is going down. Clem and Team Liquid are going to go to day 2 of the WTL playoffs, and Clem is looking amazing. He's going to 3-0 MaxPax in this series, 2-0 Spirit, 2-0 Geralt, an all-kill for Clem. And Team Liquid send their world champion out, and the world champion does world champion things.